Hello, courageous souls. It is Sarah here with Purple Angel Oracle. So I wanted to make this video just to dig a little deeper into the topic of the resistance, the spiritual war going on, the unseen battle, right? And the resistance goes by many names. So you have the dark cabal, the deep state, dark forces, the Illuminati, the devil. There's so many different names us humans have put to that, but I personally just look at it as energy because we are all energy. So you have this lower vibrational energy resisting or pushing against the higher vibrational energy because this lower vibrational energy does not want us to ascend. It does not want the light to become stronger because then it will cease to exist. But that's the purpose of the lower vibrational energy. That's the only known existence for that energy. So that's all it knows, if that makes sense. And it's the resistance that makes the light stronger. So this resistance or darkness, whatever you want to call it, is unknowingly, but also knowingly, because it was created by Source, is making or creating this stronger force of light, basically a light beast. Just this, what we're trying to achieve here. Everything is serving a purpose. Everything. So it's just how you want to look at it. And yes, we're still in the in-between stage. So we're seeing what's being reflected in our 3D reality. We're seeing it in politics. We're seeing it in the viruses. We're seeing it in the 5G situation that's being thrown at us. All the theories about all these things. And that is just how this energetic battle is playing out in the 3D reality. That's how it's manifesting in the 3D reality. Now, what's going on behind the scenes is just this energy. And the resistance, like I said, is just creating this more powerful force of light that's, ultimately going to consume everything once it surpasses that tipping point, right? That point where at the pyramid, like I said, the darkness ceases to exist. It's inevitable. That's why we came here, and that's what we're doing. And you can't help but to, play around in that reality. It happens. Just don't get lost in it. Just look at it from a higher perspective and know this is just something that has to play out in order for us to get where we're going here. And it's making us stronger. And I've also mentioned this before in a video. My dad gave me a good image for what it kind of means here. It's like weight training. Picture somebody going up a hill and adding weights to their body, making it heavier, the resistance, right? And it makes them stronger, physically stronger. Now that's exactly what's going on energetically. That's exactly what's been going on in every lifetime for us. And our higher selves chose certain traumatic experiences in every lifetime for us to gain the empathy, the wisdom, the compassion, the love, the knowledge. That's how you learn. By experiencing it and knowing the difference between the two. In this reality, that's how you learn. And that's how you gain your soul knowledge in order to navigate through these energies. And it is very difficult because we've reached a point in our evolution here for many light workers where we're very empathetic, very compassionate, sensitive. So looking at these other souls that are still growing and learning or in a lower vibrational state is very traumatic for us. We don't understand that because we're not in that reality anymore. It doesn't make sense to us because these people are still learning. But it's hard to say that in previous lifetimes, we didn't do horrific things. We didn't cause grief to somebody. It's hard to know whether we did or not in order for us to learn what we needed to learn, in order to know not to do that. And it's like being a parent of a child who does something unthinkable, which happens every day to people. everybody is someone's child. Everybody was a child, an innocent child at some point. As horrible as they may be today, they were still an innocent child. And even if your child does something unthinkable, you cannot stop loving them. That is your child. And I've seen that. I've seen it. You know, I've watched shows of parents who have had their child do something horrible. And they're so distraught, they're so upset, but they still love their child. And that's how it is. We are all God's children. We are all a creation of Source. We're energies of the universe. And when I was a child, you know, where I grew up, Christianity was the main religion that I was exposed to. And it never felt right for me. Ever since I was very young, never felt right for me. And one of the main things was how, you know, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. God will damn you. But then it also says in the Bible, God created it all. Everything. So that didn't make sense to me. It's like, if we're all God's children, God created us all. How could you pick which one of your children is going to be damned and which one isn't? Nobody's damned. They're just learning. People hold, you know, certain quotients of light. More people are there's people that are lower vibrational. They haven't reached a state of understanding those higher energies, those higher vibrational energies. So they're only working with what they have at this point in time for wherever their soul is at. That's kind of how it was explained to me. And then there's also the theory that there's just certain people that decided to come down here, right? And be in a very low vibrational state just for that specific purpose, to help make the light stronger. So if that is the case, then they are some of the most courageous souls. If that is the case, that is hard for me to know. It's just a theory, right? It's just something that's come into my awareness. That if these souls, the people that have caused the most horrific things, chose to take that role for a specific reason. Could you imagine how hard that would be to choose that role, to come down into that density, that lowest density you could get into? And then, yeah, that's something I watched something on, and I'm like, wow, that is something to think about. That's different. But either way, we're all children of God. We're serving a specific purpose. We're an essential piece of this ascension puzzle. Everything had to be exactly how it is. The darkness had to be here. This resistance had to be here to make the light stronger, so that the light would one day consume the planet and we would have this heaven on earth reality. And as I said before, this shift into the 5D is happening very subtle. It's very subtle. And we can't always see the changes that are happening because it seems like it's happening so slow. But I've said before that it comes in at a pace that we can handle. If it came in all at once, it would be overwhelming. And if you really look back, though, on your life and how much you've changed, even probably within the past year, where your awareness is, how your consciousness has already shifted, how your reality has changed. It may not seem that way because we still have this 3D reality playing out right in front of us. It's in our awareness as well. But I'm sure for many of us, we're not watching as many pointless TV programs as we used to, right? Not doing as many, and they're not pointless. Nothing's truly pointless, right? You know what I mean? Our awareness has shifted. We're focusing more on growth and love and things that raise our vibration rather than lower it. We're aware of the energies. We're aware of the resistance. We're aware of when that comes in, where we want to be, where we want our consciousness to be. And that alone is a consciousness shift. So we forget to, sometimes how much has actually changed. Look at yourself now compared to where you were even just a few months ago. Years ago too. I mean, just, it's a huge shift. It's a complete change. And it is happening at a subtle, subtly. Oh, I can't talk. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I've just noticed, seriously, just since last summer, I have completely changed. And my whole perception of everything I mean, it's always been there. We've always had this. It came in full force. Like, this is how it's not going away. This is where we're focusing. The collective reality is shifting. And this resistance can be very frightening, especially if you do have loved ones and you have children and you're worried about this coronavirus or all the 5G, right? All these things that are being thrown at us to create fear, to create anger, to create sadness. All these lower vibrational energies are being thrown at us in hopes that we'll feed on them, because that's the resistance fighting for its life there. It wants us to feed on these things so it can keep existing. So the more you don't feed into them, the better you're going to feel, the faster this shift will happen. And many people are realizing that it is about where you put your focus. Now, I personally choose to protect myself by believing that I am protected. I put my focus there by knowing and trusting that I came here for a specific reason, and I'm going to fulfill the mission that I came here for. And I know that without a doubt. So do I have moments where that fear creeps in and I'm like, oh gosh, I better go get some hand sanitizer and keep my kids home? And of course, I'm a mother. That's, I have loved ones too that I worry about. But I very quickly realized that's not going to help anyone or anything. It doesn't. It's just feeding into that. That's making that reality more prevalent in my life. And I don't want that. So I do what I can to prepare, right? Just in case, my 3D reality, what's going on in the 3D reality affects my household. So I stocked up on a couple things, but I'm not worried about it. I want to be comfortable during this transition here. We know what this is. We know what's going on. And we're aware. And that's all you can really do. And I, once again, just visualize. I visualize this protective bubble or aura around my loved ones and my family. And the whole planet, truly. Everyone going through this. I send my love and my healing energies in hopes that they'll feel that protection and that love. And just doing that brings me just a sigh of relief, just a breath. And because that's all I can do at this point. Sometimes you just feel so hopeless and you don't know what to do. So like I said before, visualizing yourself doing something when you can't. Now, if it is something you can do to help, always, let your intuition guide you. There are things that we can do as humans on the planet to help others in a physical sense. And we should be playing our part. But there are situations where it's out of your hands and you feel hopeless and you don't know what to do. And all you can do at that point is work with what you have and visualize yourself helping or pray. Whatever way you do that, you're sending love. You're sending good, loving energies out, and that is beautiful. And this is kind of funny, actually. I want to share this with you. Yesterday, I don't know how many of you felt yesterday, but I had a very intense, irritable, anxiety-filled day yesterday. Like I had just had it. I was about to scream. And it was just, I was very irritable. And I actually snapped at a family member, which, that happens. I'm sure we all still do that at times. And there was a children's show playing on the TV, Sonic the Hedgehog, some TV show. And right after I did that, I kid you not, one of the characters in it, because I hadn't been watching the show, but they go, wow, that other dimensional you is a real jerk. And apparently that episode was about dimensions. But it just totally put it into check for me. Like, God, way to be blunt, universe. And yes, I was being a jerk. But it also made me think that's just another aspect of me. That was my ego. That was just another state of consciousness that I was in at that moment. And it was another huge synchronicity. I'm like, whoa, thanks. But I did just want to share that with you because I thought that was pretty funny. Because we all have those moments where we kind of lose it. We fall apart, we get angry, we get irritable, and we snap. But the difference between us doing that in the past and how we're doing that now is how we're becoming aware of it. How we know what that is. It's not us. I mean, it is us. It's just an aspect of us, right? But it's a lower vibrational aspect. So I pulled a few cards from my new Starseed Oracle deck. And just to, get some confirmation and insight into everything that I was being guided to discuss today. And the first one out was Fall Into My Arms. It says surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. So I want to read to you what it actually says, and then I'll give you, my interpretation of that. It says, the Great Mother ushered you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life can be, that being human can be lonely and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be excruciating when your soul remembers the oneness of Source. But at the same time, it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. So often we see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that we're being rewarded. And when things are bad, then perhaps we've done something wrong. However, we're all here to expand and grow, and it's through the extremes of life that we do exactly that. You're being invited to welcome the highs and the lows of the human experience, to let them initiate you more fully into life, the agony and the ecstasy, the beauty and the bitterness. This life is but a single breath in the inextinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. The Great Mother wants you to hand over your loneliness, worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, burdens, and doubts, to lay them on her altar, to fall fully into her arms, to remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. The more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more truthfully you can say, I have truly lived. Perfect. It goes hand in hand with everything I was talking about. Everything that we go through serves a purpose. It is all part of this beautiful creation, this beautiful expression of life that we're in right now. So even though it feels uncomfortable and we don't like it, it's serving a purpose that we might not see at that point in time. And just knowing that brings relief. That just let these emotions come in, let them serve their purpose, be aware of them. That's truly all you can do. And if it gets so overwhelming that you're not sure how to even handle it, how to just let it be, then visualize yourself handing those things over. Handing them over. Just saying, I surrender this to you, God, Mother, whoever you believe in. I surrender this to you. I can't handle it right now. And let that wave of peace come over you. If that's what you feel like you have to do at that point in time, and that's what brings you comfort, then there's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful in itself. So, and I do that often as well. Okay, so another one here is karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who are part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode, instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, We should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet, that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? Wow. Right when it said that we're all innocent children, that just hit me, because I was just talking about that, how we're all children of God. So there you go. There's our confirmation. That's incredible. I got the chills. Basically, yes, always try to look at everything from a higher perspective, a perspective of love, or look at it as a parent. Even being a parent, a mother, a father of the entire planet and every child on this planet. Adult, child, we're all children. Truly, we were born as children, babies. So that's who we are. And that's why I have a very motherly instinct, very motherly protective instinct of the entire planet. And as I said before, how I visualize myself hugging the planet many times, cradling it even like a baby. Because that's what it is. That's love. Unconditional love. That's the word that I was looking for earlier when it comes to, a parent who has their child does something unthinkable. They still love them. That's unconditional love. And that's what it's going to take to shift us, is that unconditional love. This resistance is just an energy that is here to serve a purpose until the purpose has been fulfilled and the light consumes everything. The light gets strong enough, that light quotient gets strong enough that it consumes everything, and that 3D reality, that dense reality falls away, ceases to exist. That's all that this resistance is. And I just am always aware of that when I'm watching the news, or I'm, those things come into my awareness, is that that's all this is. It's just playing out. This battle, if you want to look at it that way, the light has already won. It's been preordained. It's been divinely decided. This is why we came here, was to usher this in. So it's very important to always look at it from an energetic level, higher perspective. Don't get lost in the chaos of the 3D reality. Don't let that fear consume you. That's what I personally try to do, is just be aware of what those fear-based energies are, and knowing that's all they are, and to not feed into it as much as you can, because that's giving it its food to survive. Okay, I hope this helped. I hope this brought some clarity. I just wanted to share my perspective on the whole situation. I'm never claiming that my perspective is the only what, my insights are the only right ones. Everybody's insights are perfect, exactly how they are. And that's how it's intended to be. We all serve a specific purpose, once again. So I love all of your opinions. I love hearing from all of you. You're all courageous, every single one of us. And I thank you deeply for all of your service in the name of love, in the name of light. I will talk to you all soon. I love you. Bye.